4 things Legend of Korra got right. Number 1, we never see the Fire Nation after all this time. We get extensive looks at the Water Tribes and the Earth Kingdom, and we see how they changed. But not the Fire Nation, which is just really cool. Number 2, the whole Roaring Twenties theme that totally doesn't clash with literally everything. Number 3, not seeing how Aang or Sokka died. I mean, I think I can speak for everyone when I say no one really cares about Aang or Sokka, so not even mentioning how these characters died was just a relief. Because it would have taken time away from something actually important, like pro-bending. And finally, number 4, the entirety of Book 2. Just everything about it. Okay, so word on the street is that some people don't really like The Legend of Korra. But am I one of them? Yes. But it did get some things right. Like half the stuff in Book 3? I guess? Like these 4. Wait, 4? Oh, first of all, none of these villains are as unlikable as the main characters in the show. Well, besides Tenzin, when he's not just saying, "You're right, Korra," even when she's clearly not. I mean, Korra's supposed to listen to Tenzin, not the other way around. I mean, come on, Tenzin, it's not like Korra's your dad. Oh wait, she is. Anyway, back to these guys. The Red Lotus. Ooh. Let's start with Gazan, cause there's not too much to say about him. He bend lava. That's it. Well, to be fair, lava bending is the best new type of bending they could have introduced in Legend of Korra. And I know it's technically not new because we saw Avatar Kyoshi and Avatar Jafar lava bend, but no one really brought it up as an official type of bending. And in the case of Avatar Jafar, it was more so associated with fire bending, not earth bending, so... Minghua the waterbender. She's a lot like Toph in that she uses bending to make up for what she lacks. Her arms. But to be fair, she doesn't really need arms. I mean, her water limbs reach further than regular arms do, they can freeze into weapons, and she can have more than just 2 of them. And it looks like she's using the octopus stance that Katara used. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Minghua. Oh, except she was offed like she was nothing. Wasn't lightning bending so rare and dependent on skill that only firebending elites and royals could do it? Whatever. Next is Pli, the combustion bender. It seems that she used to be in the same group of mercenaries as Combustion Man. I mean, obviously. Which, by the way, I'm really glad they kept a mystery, because if we knew the backstory of Combustion Man, I think it would make him a lot less interesting. But we can assume that Pli was a part of the same group, but escaped with the help of Zaheer. And maybe that's why she doesn't have a vow of silence like Combustion Man did. But the biggest thing that Pli and Combustion Man have in common is that they both blew their own heads up. And the last member of the Red Lotus is Zaheer, the only main antagonist from the show that isn't bleh. I think one of the main reasons for that is that, unlike the other villains, his main goal isn't to gain power, it's to topple other people's power. And not having a giant stupid robot also helps. But I know a lot of people think that Zaheer flying around like that looks stupid. And to that I would have to say, yeah, it does look odd, but I don't think it was a necessarily bad idea. Well, the specific idea I'm talking about is that there was an ancient air nomad that learned to fly by becoming enlightened and having no worldly connections or possessions, but then have a villain learn to do the same. That concept on its own, I think, is pretty interesting. They just could have executed it better, or have it in a better show. Alright, I know Legend of Korra gets a bad rap, and I know I've been ragging on it like this whole time, but if I'm being honest, it's not that bad. I would compare it to basically any non-Toy Story Pixar sequel. On its own, it's not that bad, but compared to the original, yeah, it doesn't stand a chance.
4 to 6 weeks later.
So, that was a lie. So, I recorded and edited probably like a third of this video a few weeks ago, but I stopped because I was busy being very productive by rewatching the Clone Wars in 16. But during that time, I watched a video by known Zuko fanboy Prune Ballad that basically makes this very video you are watching right now completely useless.
Worldly desires, dedicated desires, dedicated desires, dedicated desires.
I'm just a little confused here because
Desires.
it can mean a lot of things.
Dedicated.
Meaning, I like
Worldly desires.
I mean, Zaheer was the only person I had anything meaningful to say about anyway. Clearly. Her arms. So yeah, this was just a complete waste of time.
Everything I did was...
Do you want to say pointless?
Yep. Oh, and before I forget, the live action Avatar show is gonna suck.